The digital world has brought demand and supply together like never before. There is a dire need of upskilling the Indian working class. When MICA approached me to be able to do a digital transformation program, I was very keen to take this opportunity and build this plan on the platform. The real transformation starts from everybody in your team being aligned to a single cause. Tomorrow, unfortunately, has become today now. COVID has made that tomorrow into today. I had never spent so much time with my kids. I have 9-year-old twins, and it's been amazing to spend time with them. I think this is the world of what I call perseverance. People who persevere through this time will have a lot to tell to the future generations in the years to come.
Thank you, Mr. Tarun. It's great to have you with us on India Podcasts, listeners and viewers. And it's a privilege to take time out in this time of lockdown. So thanks for making that time.
Thank you so much for having me. I think after hearing your incredible journey and what you're doing, it's very inspiring. And I'm very excited to have this conversation with you. I love media entrepreneurs. I love what you're doing. And I wish you all the very best.
Your journey in the digital world has been over decades. It's been more than 2 decades. So is journey, say, how can you reflect upon us? Where are we going digitally? How do you look at our digital world go from here, where we are standing today?
I think the digital world is doing 3 or 4 things for us, right? One, it's creating access. It's creating access for both consumers as well as the supply side alike, right? And by supply side, I mean could be creators like you, could be small producers of early startup brands, could be people of services like Urban Clap and so on and so forth. There could be marketplaces for education. There could be marketplaces for talent. Look at what Upwork is doing with so much freelance talent and their ability to get work. So the digital world has brought demand and supply together like never before, right? It's made access easy for everybody. And that really allows for a whole generation of entrepreneurs. It allows for a whole generation of people who can stand up on their own 2 feet and do what they want to do, empower them to be able to pursue their dreams and make them into reality. So if you're I have a friend who loves healthy foods, and he said, listen, my ambition is that everybody should eat as healthy as I do. So I said, what do you want to do? So he said, I'm going to build a health brand. And today he's built a very successful health brand. And digital allowed him to do that. He retails on, Flipkart and Amazon and so many other places. And so it's allowed for him to reach out to people who share his passion. It's allowed him the access to reach out to people who share his passion of health food, right? It's not limited to building distribution across so many, physical retail outlets and then having returns and then having to reach out to, from one geography to another and so on and so forth. At one go, instantly, he's able to make a national brand come alive.
There's a misunderstanding in the digital world, to say so, is even if we come up with new apps and new platforms, there's already too much happening, too much content all over the internet. The competition is increasing. So are we going to see a safe side play out from the digital outburst that we are seeing? As you said, people can find their passion in this new digital era, but how long can they go? Will these startup businesses or digital platforms sustain? The sustenance is a question which traditional mediums did very well.
I think the big difference between digital and traditional is that you don't need wide audiences. You need immersive audiences. You need audiences who share your passion, who are connected to you for what you do, who will continue to support you because they believe that you are like them and you cater to their unique tastes. So it allows for n equal to one personalization, it allows for segmentation, it allows for people to be individuals of their own right and find
Okay.
things that appeal to their taste clusters, their taste buds. And that could be in any sector. It could be in content, it could be in food, it could be in learning, it could be in retail and commerce and so on and so forth. So it started by saying only wide platforms do well,
Yes.
but over a period of time you have enormous number of vertically segmented, narrowly segmented products who do exceedingly well, right? Look at
Okay.
what happened to Wondery, which is a podcast platform, which is a very specialist podcast platform that
Okay.
recently got acquired by Amazon, right? So
Yes.
you will have the opportunity to build some things like this on your own. You can choose whether you want to continue being individual or be a part of a larger group, but the opportunity to be able to get unique users who follow your tastes, who follow your
Yes.
kind of thinking is big today.
Coming to your results and outcome, I think with media tech and edutech, the where you have also invested, what is the real idea? Is this a tie up with the MICA institute, as we may understand, to impart knowledge or assure success for success in the digital world? What is the real agenda that is with
And
the result
the
and outcome?
agenda is really summarized is from the boardroom to the classroom.
Okay.
What we believe is that we want to provide results to individuals and outcomes to organizations.
Okay.
There is, if you look at the India Skills Report, there is a dire need of upskilling the Indian working class or the Indian working population or the Indian working professionals, right? It's
Yes.
very important to be able to upskill them in the digital era or in the digital world. If we don't today invest in our workforce, then we're staring at a large number of people being questionably employable or having a low level of employability in a large section of current working
Okay.
population. It's because as we go increasingly digital, the skill sets that are required today will be very, very different. And when Micah approached me to be able to do a digital transformation program, I was very keen to take this opportunity and build this plan on the platform, primarily because I know after having done a digital first platform for a traditional company like C,
Yes.
how much it's required to hone digital skills in your regular workforce. Otherwise, you have two kind or two buckets of people in your team. One who are traditional and haven't been upskilled and so
Yes.
always feel lost or defensive or will unconsciously drag you down in your path to digitalization, right? And this these unknown unknowns, right, or known unknowns to a lot of people, that they don't know where to go, what next to do, how to approach a problem, how do you bring efficiency through automation, how do you bring in efficiency through database decisions, how do you make sure that you reach out to different segments and build a business which is slightly more wide or deep, how do you make sure that you understand the nuances of the different technology platforms that are available. If you don't have enough depth of knowledge in your organization, and it's not possible to hire everybody from outside as a CEO, you have to
Have budget
upskill.
restraints as well. Yes.
Right. So you have to upskill your own organization and your own team, because remember, this team has great understanding of your core business. Now you have a core
Okay.
business. You could be selling bananas for all I care. You could be selling, you could be making toothpaste, or you could be, doing media and technology, or you could be doing something else. You have the core business understanding. You have the legacy and the history of understanding in your current workforce. You need that because they know how the product is made, what are the nuances, the
Yes.
intricacies. But now you need to make sure that you reach your end consumer digitally. You make sure that your channels of both communication and distribution and your product development have need to have
Yes.
either data or digital brought into them. For all of that, it is essential to upgrade your current team. Even if you were to hire a few people from outside, it is
Yes.
essential to be able to make your current team digitally aware. And that's where this whole thinking of results and outcomes came from, is that you have to invest in your today's team, because this today's team will take you tomorrow, and to take them to you to tomorrow, you have to invest in making sure, or they have to invest in themselves in making sure that they're ready for tomorrow. And that tomorrow, unfortunately, has become today now. COVID has made that
Yes.
tomorrow into today.
So what you do today becomes your tomorrow. In fact, what you said was also linking me to think that is it more or less what we have consultants and big conglomerates for, because they kind of help you with the market research with every database, and then then the company based on that research can decide whether they can go in this market and all. Are you
Yeah,
helping in that kind of a knowledge?
CEOs are willing to pay, the likes of BCGs and McKinseys and
Yes,
others,
I meant to go there. Yes.
right, a lot of money for doing digital transformation projects. But McKinsey is not going to make your toothpaste, nor is McKinsey going to make your farsan, nor is McKinsey going to be able to run your services business. BCG may come and help you with some, what I
Data.
call, yeah, some amount of macro data, some amount of micro understanding, but you have to run your own business, and your people have to run your own business. Are you
True.
investing in your people to be even partners in this digital transformation journey that some of these big consultants will come and tell you, right? You may not even need these consultants if people who know your business are aware about how to transform it themselves. The best transformation happens from within.
That's so true, because I was talking to someone from one of these consultancy and they said, what we do, we really copy the macro data and give it to the company in India and tell them this is the best in the world and try to somehow fit it in India. I won't name,
I have
but
seen
there's
a
some big
million
company,
presentations. Yeah, that
they just
lots of
copy
case
paste it and force India to
studies
follow the
coming from
format
Harvard
here.
Business Review and others, and which are
Exactly.
also half baked, come down as advice. The real transformation starts from everybody in your team being aligned to a single cause. Yeah. If for you to be able to have a discovery meeting in your organization, and to be able to look at what I call the three M's, right? Are you doing something which is material? Are and material means, are you going to be able to do something which out of this which will make a big shift in your organization, or big shift in what you do and how you do it? Are
Okay.
you doing stuff that is going to make your margin move, right? Because that's very, very interesting and important, that are you doing stuff that will add to your bottom line, right? But lastly, and most importantly, is this going to get you momentum, right? And a lot talk is cheap,
Yes.
right? But action is tough. And so this whole program is about practical knowledge. The program that we've built is around professionals for professionals.
True.
So, senior practitioners who can help mid-level professionals grow, and, give them what I call the next P, practical knowledge, because that's more important, and build on some very solid pedagogy, right? Which is all about peer to peer learning. It's all about learning in the real world. It's all about making sure that there is deep engagement in the subject. And we have people globally coming in, not to consult or advise you, but to teach you how to do this.
Tarun, how do you look at the industry, the digital industry in India grow from here? Because are you seeing more of the foreign companies coming in? Like we have Netflix here, right? We see Netflix more on the OTT, larger than live image than our own platforms taking that place. Do you see this digital transformation requires Indian companies and Indian minds to come and set up new platforms and
It
new?
does require Indian companies to be able to take a leap of faith, invest in both technology and people, and to be able to keep their minds open about the possibilities in the world, right? We don't want to be the copycat machinery of the world. And I think there are some very good Indian companies. If you look at Flipkart, if you look at Paytm, you look at some of the others who have gone out and made a huge effort in making sure that they build Indian brands. Look at Zomato, that Indian brands that we are very proud of.
Tarun, what is your aim in this? You have had a journey. I will not name how many years. You know it. You've worked in, I think, every medium, from television to OTT, being the last one, which you helped Z5 really get great content out there. Big FM, some which you have founded yourself. How do you look at this whole journey? One, and also the platform. First, let's start with your journey. How has your journey been?
It's been all about people. I think I've been touched by many, many lives, and I've had the opportunity to learn from a lot of people as I went along over the last 2 decades. I think I've seen a lot of people grow. I've seen a lot of people reach some very great heights, and every time one of somebody who's worked with me has done exceedingly well makes me really, really satisfied. It's very gratifying. So it's been about learning and people, and I continue to believe that you're in your journey on this land or on this planet, and as long as you can keep on contributing to people's lives, you will go to sleep very, very satisfied.
What, according to you, Tarun, was the best medium we have seen now? We have got OTT now. You've seen radio world. You've seen television. We see television take a massive hit. That's what people say. So, how is your look into
I
different?
think each of them have their own strengths. I think each of them at that time were great places to be, and gave me an opportunity and an empowerment to do different stuff that I can look back and be very proud of. I wouldn't compare one for the other, and timing is everything. I think I got really lucky. The universe has been made on my side to be able to do satellite television when it was right at the start, to do
Yeah.
private FM radio when it just started to scale, do OTT when it became really big in India, and broadband really came through. So you've got to be. I think timing's everything, and that's why now I'm investing in education businesses, because I think upskilling the entire workforce to be able to meet the needs of digital transformation in this country is very, very critical.
One question, Tarun, before I have to let you go, is also about digital transformation. I think in the digital space where people are getting lost is, as we spoke about, finding the right audience that your course is going to help, understanding where you want to take it. People are still struggling into getting the right numbers digitally. Like it's very difficult to, it is one thing to identify your audience, second to hold them there. So how is this market, which is out of the brick and mortar, the style where you don't know whether the footfall will happen today or not? How do you look at this
I think
digital shift?
this is really where, understanding digital audiences, using a huge amount of marketing automation, understanding data, and being able to build personas, in understanding the use of technology to be able to make sure that, your product in itself onboards and retains people, because there's a big part in how your product experiences, in understanding the user experience and user journeys. It's a very holistic experience that digital gives you, right? It's not just the content or the product you're selling. It's not just the customer service. It's not just the UI UX. It's not just your investment in data and personalization, but it's all of this together that brings about retention, it brings about organic customer acquisition, and it brings about scale.
Because we see a lot of acquisition and taking over of platforms, whether of any kind, where that means either they are not able to hold on to the business or they find a better price to sell it off and move on. So is it because
I
of
mean,
the lack of understanding?
the startup ecosystem is just like that, where it allows you to pivot from one idea to another, and that's not wrong. It's just that maybe you've done what you needed to at this stage, and now you want to do something else. And somebody like you who's so young may want to do something else in the next 3 or 4 years, and you'll say, okay, hey, I've done podcasts. I want to hand this out to somebody else, give somebody else this opportunity, and I want to go on and make short video films. Yeah, well, for all you.
That's the ecosystem, right? Tarun, do leave us with your thought about how you look at everything changing. We have had this last year word called new normal. Now I don't think people are coining any new word after the variant 2. They're just clueless that where we are going. How do you want to leave us with a message here?
I think this is the world of what I call perseverance, and the last close to now 18 months have taught us perseverance. And I think people who persevere through this time will have a lot to tell to the future generations in the years to come. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tarun, for your time, for your understanding. Generally, in my light-hearted podcast shows, I always make people sing, but I will not do that to you. I always ask them, what have you been doing? But how have you spent your lockdown? How has your time been?
My
Everybody, I
kids,
hope.
I had never spent so much time with my kids. I have 9-year-old twins, and it's been amazing to spend time with them. And I've
Really,
literally
it's
got
been
to
after
know
how
them.
many years you gave them the due? Yeah.
That's not something I'm going to tell you, but yes, it's been very, very, very
Yeah.
enriching. Thank you so
All the
much.
best for results and outcome course. I'm sure we also need that help very soon. We'll be knocking you for it and enrolling ourselves. And thank you so much for your time. It was a real pleasure to have you with us.
Likewise.